Welcome to Death Valley, the home of the Clemson Tigers. When you think of this team and this university, you invariably think of one man, Frank Howard. For 30 years, he was the head football coach here. Altogether, as either a coach or athletic director, he was on the Clemson payroll for 43. He's retired now, and his name isn't in the headlines like it used to be, but he's still quite a character. We thought you might like to know what he's been up to.
It's not hard to find Frank Howard. You look for him, same as always, at the Athletic Center. There's even a bust of him in the lobby. And down the hall, he's in his office on most mornings, still true to form, here before 8.
They tell me that as soon as you retire and sit around and do nothing, that within 5 years you're dead. And frankly, I'm not ready to die yet.
The university told him he'd always have a home here, so Coach Howard helps out with fundraising and recruiting. Most of the time, though, this is his base of operations for selling advertising for a football newsletter or promoting himself as an after-dinner speaker. He's a much sought-after jokester, especially known for his running rivalry with Alabama coach Bear Bryant.
You know, one time old Bear called me and wanted a job as my assistant. I tell people the smartest thing I ever did, I didn't hire him. Because if I'd have hired him within 6 months, he'd have cut my throat, drank my blood, had my job, and had us on probation for life. But he is the only football coach I ever heard of could hire a college president, give him a 1-year make-good contract.
Actually, the two are great friends. Frank Howard went to Alabama on an academic scholarship and ended up being the star guard on one of the best teams ever. He graduated during the Depression and was lucky enough to land a job on the coaching staff at Clemson, then a small military school. Frank Howard never left. He liked the people, and they loved him. His athletic program helped put Clemson on the map.
How much do you miss coaching?
Well, I missed it a little to start with. I don't miss it hardly any now. I just watch football. I just sit up there and watch it and see what kind of defense they're playing and what kind of offense they're using. And sometimes I wonder what I'd do in certain situations, but I'm glad those situations are not coming up for me now.
Sitting up there in the stands, do you ever feel tempted to give the coach down there some advice?
I don't give anybody advice. A lot of them used to give me advice, and I knew what I thought of their advice, so I don't try to tell them what to do or anything. If they want to come in there and ask me about something, I always listen and give them the benefit of my experience.
He took the Tigers to 6 bowl games, 150 victories during his career. A tough-talking, tobacco-chewing coach who could usually make things turn out his way.
I remember one day out there we was playing, I believe it was George Washington. We gained 600 and some odd yards and they gained 50 and we got beat 6-0. We couldn't even buy a touchdown.
Now at first you might think he's gruff, but those who know him say he's really kind-hearted. Everybody says he's one of a kind.
Now, where'd your nickname come from, the Baron of Barlow Bend?
The way I got that handle, when I was a boy, I was born in Barlow Bend, Alabama. And frankly, it was so far out in the country that every time the sun went down, it knocked the bricks off the chimney. They made up all kind of stories about me, some of them true, some of them not. In fact, I've told some of them myself, made them up and told them, and I've told them so many times I now think they're the truth. Joe Sherman, the publicity man we had, him was kind of wild himself. He liked all those sensational things like most writers do. And he used to tell about me. He said I was born in Barlow Bend. I came out of Barlow Bend riding a tiger with a wildcat under each arm and using a rattlesnake for a whip. That's not exactly true, but he made me kind of country, and it worked pretty good, and I always kind of lived up to that image.
Your image as sort of a country coach has sort of helped you over the years, hasn't it? Especially in the media.
Those Yankee sports writers and people up there, they'll believe anything. I had a boy named Fred Cone. This fella asked me, said, "Where's Fred Cone from?" I said, "Pineapple, Alabama." Well, naturally, he never heard of Pineapple, Alabama. I didn't either till I got Fred Cohn up here. And he says, what kind of metropolis is that? I said, well, at the 1930 census, they had 3 white families and about 50 colored families. He said, well, how far is it from Birmingham? Everybody knows about Birmingham. I said, well, they tell me it's about 3 wagon greasings. And he put all that kind of stuff in the paper, and it just kind of built up, I reckon.
He'll tell you he's no living legend, no special breed of cat. But although other tigers may come and go, he's one who never will. He's one of those rare individuals who can become part of an institution and make his spirit its spirit. Andrew Shore with the Carolina Camera in Clemson, South Carolina.